Welcome to the Time to Practice Summer Edition. This series is meant to give you a little weekly burst of inspiration, motivation, or food for thought about music learning and music practice for young musicians each week before we restart Season 4 in September. You'll hear tips from past expert guests, listeners, and even, I hope, tips from young musicians themselves this year, and I can't wait to share them with you. Whenever you listen to this episode, whether it's in the summer or throughout the year, I hope these episodes speak to you and give you actionable advice that you can use. It's always been my goal to keep this podcast free of outside ads, but I think it's also important to know that podcasts do have those ads to support the time and production costs of making episodes and to make it possible for the show to exist. So this summer, I think I'll just share some ways that you can support the podcast and keep it going. A few of them include sharing an episode that you enjoy with a friend, your colleagues, maybe your students and their families. You can rate or review the podcast anywhere you listen. Subscribe wherever you're listening to this episode so you're sure to hear upcoming episodes. And as always, anytime you buy one of my books or sign up for a workshop or purchase a past recorded workshop, those purchases directly support my work and help keep this resource going. All right, on to today's practice tip. Well, welcome everyone. I'm excited to be here to continue our series of summer practice tips with Alyna Bloecher. And Alyna, I'm hoping you could just introduce yourself a bit to everyone so they can get to know you and your background in music before we dive in.
Sure. So I grew up as a Suzuki kid in Alaska, and I feel like that was an awesome first start in Suzuki. It was just a great community. So that's where it started, and then went to college in Kentucky, studied music ed and violin pedagogy with Dr. Chingy Lin at WKU, and then Andy Braddock. He's the viola professor. I think he is also the current Suzuki magazine editor. So they're really active there, but got to study with them, which was wonderful. And then after that, had kids. So got married, had kids, and my husband's work took us to Texas, where we did a small studio, but then back to Tennessee, where we are now. And so my three boys all study violin and viola, so I'm doing the parent thing as well. And we have a small Suzuki studio here where we live. So that's what we're doing now.
Oh, wonderful. That's great. So you can kind of think about practice from all perspectives as the student and parent and teacher, like I can, which is great. I'm sure we'll have some great thoughts about practice. Well, I'd love to dive in. What would you like to share with listeners about music practice and any tips?
Sure. Well, in thinking about summer stuff, I guess I was just thinking about what's worked for us this summer. I feel like every year we kind of adjust and we revisit or try different things. Just with the kids changing their ages and all the things. But two things that have really stuck out this summer was practice charts and then practice challenges. So like charts are just so much fun, and maybe it's just because I'm a girl and I like checking things off, I don't know, but it's so much fun. And I think it's Leslie Thackeray, I believe is how you say her name, has the practice shop. And just that has been such a save with all her free downloads that I can just pick, and my kids have all these choices they can enjoy, and we get the stickers and do all the checking off. We particularly ourselves use those for like review songs. When it starts to get a little monotonous of doing the same over and over, then we'll bring out the practice chart, and that makes it fresh and fun. But we've used them for other things too, other parts of the practice. So we do that. And in the past, when I only had one baby underfoot or was a little less busy, I've made them myself just if I knew what my kid enjoyed. Like if he enjoyed Sonic, I'd make one with a bunch of Sonic characters on it or whatever. But now I enjoy that other people make them and I can just print them off. So that is a huge helpful thing. So that's one thing we've enjoyed, and I feel like it just kind of puts the life back into things when things start to get a little monotonous. I'm not naturally great at making everything fun for my kids, so it's something that I easily can be real fun and then fade off. And so I have to remind myself, they're kids, let's enjoy this, let's not make it too black and white. The other thing that has been super fun for us this summer are practice challenges or like friendly accountability. So I mentioned Dr. Lynn and Dr. Braddock at WKU. We were with them a few weeks ago visiting, and we're just talking about how fun it would be if our kids, because they have one daughter who does violin as well, if our kids did a practice challenge together over the summer. And then we said, no, wait, we should do the practice challenge. So like all the adults should do it too. So it's just been so fun. And I really have practiced more just knowing that someone else is out there doing it with me, and it's not anything that's super challenging or super intense, but it's just that someone's enjoying that with you and keeping you accountable, and you're checking in with them. So that's fun. And then that also just provides like a reward. Like when we get done, we do something fun with the kids or whatever. And I've learned recently, like burnout kind of happens when the output is greater than the input. And so if I can have those regular times of input for me and my kids, then that keeps us going. I don't know if it's personality, but I think most of us are built to where doing things socially or doing things with another friend is just so helpful. I also love running. And when I'm running by myself, it's just miserable. But when I have someone there, I feel like I could run forever. And I think the same is true about music practice. It's just when you have someone else in the ball field with you, you work a little harder and you have more fun. So.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I love that analogy. I agree so much. A couple of things are coming to mind as you're sharing that, but I wonder, would you mind sharing the ages of your kids? I'm thinking of listeners maybe picturing doing some of what you're talking about at home.
Sure. Yeah. So I have a 10-year-old who's about to turn 11, and then I have an 8-year-old and a 6-year-old, and they're all boys. So.
Great. Oh, that helps a lot. And I also think it's really important what you said is that, like for your practice challenge, for example, that it's helping you as the parent as well as helping your child. Because I think sometimes when we're the grown-ups supporting our musical kids, we forget how much we're outputting, right? That burnout piece that you talked about, and having something that keeps us going. I think we also have to think about that. It's really important.
Oh yeah, definitely. And especially if we're not keeping it fun for them and for ourselves, I feel like I get in a drudge really quick. And I'm a teacher. But I still get I just get in a funk really fast where I start approaching it like, oh, maybe I can put it off another hour. But if I can get my attitude changed, that helps everybody. So.
Sure. Yeah. And I think like have to versus, oh, I want to, because there's this other fun piece changes things a lot for our kids, but also for us. That's really important to be aware. It's like putting our oxygen mask on first.
Yeah.
Like they always tell us on the plane, we're doing that with motivation, I think, and fun too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then I wonder too, for people who are listening and thinking like, oh, I feel like practice challenge would be good for us. Do you mind mentioning a bit of how yours is structured? Not that everybody has to do it the same, but if you don't mind sharing, how are you structuring your practice challenge with your kids and yourself?
Sure. So to start out, we chose a 50-day goal. We just said, let's try to practice consecutively for 50 days and just see how we do. And at the end, we'll do something fun. And so I just printed off a little chart where I could kind of, check it and make sure we were doing it. And so my husband also plays. So we would make sure my husband and I and all 3 kids did their practice each day. We'd check it off. And one of the other adults doing it with us was asking, how long do we need to practice, or is there like a limit on, can it just be a scale if we have a busy day or whatever? And my thought was just as long as you have done something that day, it counts. And I think other people, you could be more intense if you wanted to, or whatever your family's goals were for the summer. But for us, it was best to just say, as long as we've done something, that counts, and we're counting it as a success. So, yeah.
I love that, because if you have a low cost to counting, it's easy to get started. And then most of the time, once we get started, we want to do more than one thing if we literally have the time, right?
Right. So that's been good.
Exactly. Oh, thank you. Thanks for breaking that down for people. I definitely encourage people to think about what kind of challenge you could do. And if 50 days sounds daunting to you and you're listening, maybe start with 10 and build yourself up to, longer stretches. But having that reward at the end is great. I think it's fun that you're thinking about doing something fun. It also doesn't have to be eyeing something or
No, yeah.
be extensive to do something like this. Like just celebrate kind of at the end, maybe it sounds like is what you're doing.
Right. And I kind of created a monster with it, which is a good thing in a way. But my husband, who hadn't been, because he's a farmer, so he started out as a musician, but then changed careers to farming. So really his practice habits had been very minimal. But then when we started doing this, he started getting back into it daily, and he was like, oh, wow, let's keep going. And so when we reached the 50, I was like, what are we going to do to celebrate? And he's like, we're going to keep going. So I was like, okay, well, that's great. So that's not a bad thing, but
that's awesome.
Keeps us going. But
yeah, those challenges can be so powerful. Well, thank you so much for sharing with us. And you have a backyard music club. Is that the maybe I wonder if you want to say a little bit about what you're doing with that before we go, or where people can find you.
Sure. Yeah, so that is our studio here in Trenton, Tennessee. Trenton's kind of a littler dot on the map, but it's near Jackson, Tennessee. I keep it pretty small because I'm also homeschooling my kids, and that takes just a lot of our time. But we do bi-weekly. We'll do private lessons one week and then group classes the next week with everybody. And then we also do general music events throughout the semester. So we'll hold like music theory classes, or we'll do performances at nursing homes. Last semester we went to an art studio, which was really fun, and kind of collaborated with the local artist in Humboldt, where she gave a lesson to the kids and we then performed music outside her studio. So they got to do a little both. So we'll do all sorts of things like that. And then we just finished our first year of summer camp in Jackson, which was so much fun. It was just a blast. And we had some friends come from Texas and then some local friends as well teaching with us. And it was fantastic. So we're excited to do that again next year, hopefully. But yeah, that's kind of the studio. We're keeping it small, but we're continuing to try to hold more things where like studios in the area can just get to know each other and play together. We're doing some like Zoom stuff coming semester where we're hoping people will sign on and we can do review sessions for certain books. That I'm hoping could be really fun. And then we're hoping to also host a like Suzuki play down for the community. We went to one in Nashville, which we'll probably go to Nashville again this year for that, but it was just so much fun. A bunch of studios from all around Tennessee came and played through all the books together, and teachers took turns leading. So we're hopeful to do things like that too.
Oh, that's wonderful. I will put a link to your Instagram, which is where I think you and I maybe first connected. But do you have a website as well where people can find you if they're in your area?
We do, and we don't have a great URL for it yet, but I'll give it to you anyway. It's just a little bit long, but it's Twin Lakes. That's the name of our farm. twinlake.my.canva.site/club. So that's where they can find all the info.
Great. We'll put a link to that in the show notes for everyone.
Great.
Well, thank you so much. I love your energy and enthusiasm, and I think your ideas maybe will spark some good new ideas, or maybe good reminders for people to pull back out that they've used in the past and remember how well they work. So we appreciate your time today. Thank you so much.
Great. Thank you.
Thanks for being here with us today. I hope you enjoyed this practice tip as much as I did. If so, please share it with your teacher, a friend, or colleague, and help spread the energy, enthusiasm, and creative ideas that Alyna shared with us today with someone in your life this week. I will look forward to being back with you again next week with more practice ideas for summer and really all year round from listeners who are practicing and involved in music just like you. I appreciate you being here with us. I'm wishing you a great week ahead. Take very good care.